You clicked on this video because you're pretentious, I'm assuming. During the summer, dressing pretentious is at an all-time low. You feel constrained to dress for comfort over style, and summer disrupts the ritual for pretentious people. Now, this is a pretentious guide to having a dogmatic system for dressing for a pretentious summer. I'm gonna hit you with a pretentious fact here. Did you know that black absorbs a wide range of light waves, and it reflects very little back? And that absorption of light energy converts into heat, thus making you hot and sweaty. And white basically does the opposite. It reflects back more light wavelengths. But big shocker, we all knew that black absorbed a lot of heat and it makes you hot and sweaty. So the best thing to do is avoid the sun, stay in the shade, and or take the shade with you, aka a cotton umbrella. Also, a cotton umbrella is just peak pretentiousness. Imagine holding that with your cup of coffee, cold brew specifically, walking around town. That's peak. But now knowing all this, you have to dress in all black with intention. And just like with many pretentious users for a pretentious summer, it's always intentional. You wear black with the intention of wearing black. So you gotta be cautious with where you go around town. Either you don't go outside during peak hours when it's super hot around these times to these times, or you just stay inside and never go outside during the summer, which I personally prefer. But you also have to be intentional with the types of materials you wear, which is actually step number one to a pretentious summer. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is wear either linens, cottons, tencels, and rayons. Those are probably the best, most breathable fabrics you can wear during the summer. Linen pants are great, linen shirts are great. That is probably the most worn material that I'll wear during the summer besides cottons. But linen is very breathable as it allows air to go through the weave. It's awesome for the summer. And besides hiding from the sun, and usually trying to stay in the shade, you can also wear a different color. What's another pretentious color besides black? Hints of white. All black is always going to be pretentious, I will say, but it depends on how you wear the black. And it's just how you incorporate the white into your outfit. You can wear a white button down and wear a tie, or wear something over it, and you can still be very pretentious with the black shoes, black pants, and any other black accessories you decide to wear. You can still be very pretentious, but black, it's a way you wear black. You can wear black trousers and a black shirt and you could just look like a waiter. That doesn't scream pretentious, that screams employed. You're gonna wanna be very intentional, not only with the materials, but the way you dress. Now, in order to not look like a waiter, you must implement different materials of black in your outfits to create contrast. You also gotta utilize accessories to also break up the outfit apart. And most importantly, you gotta focus on layering. You want to stay within the realms of using the materials that I mentioned earlier. There are different types and different ways of layering. Now, the first way to layer is the top half of your body. So you can put a tank top on, and then you gotta cover yourself up with a button down. You wanna remain modest. Or you could also put on a button down and toss on a very big vest on top of that. That is also another form of layering if you would want to go down that route. Also, vests are very utility focused where you get more pockets. And it's always just a nice little touch to put on there. I love me a good vest. I love me a good tank top. But remember to always layer, so you gotta toss something on either over or on top of the items that you are wearing. There is also a way to wear blazers, linen blazers. I have a linen blazer. I would probably just wear a tank top and toss on the linen blazer. It's very flowy, very roomy for my body, so airflow will go through. It will assault my body as the air goes through, the oversized nature of it, and also the linen. So it's also a great way for me to wear something a little bit more formal. Now on bottom, you might be questioning, JQ, what can you layer on bottom besides tossing on pants? Well, there are attachments that you can add to your arsenal, like skirts over pants, for example, or skirt attachments, which we sold on Patient Zero not too long ago. We made and created this skirt attachment. It's all you got to do is put on your pants, and it's a half skirt that you just attach on with a belt system, and you just tighten that up, and boom, you got some layering there. Depending on how comfortable you want to get or how uncomfortable, that's up to you. But I do think wearing a skirt or a half skirt or a attachment skirt like that is also awesome to wear. There are other brands that do that too as well. For example, this Yoji skirt that I found not too long ago. But guess what? You could also wear shorts and toss on the half skirt over the shorts. That would be pretty cool because you can wear shorts and toss on the skirt and it'll create that like extra length. I think that's also a really cool look. There's also belt bags. Belt bags are really sick. Kamiri has belt bags. I'm sure there's a bunch of other brands that I could list too, vintage brands that you can toss onto your waist. That's also another way to layer something on top of your garments that you probably are going to be walking around sweating in, but that's a bit of light layering. Now, besides light layering, I want to talk about the main principle of a pretentious summer. I have theorized and calculated one of my hobbies is to think, and for me to think is for me to come up with something like a chart. I believe pretentiousness is linked to modesty. And with this chart that I have created, we have this fun little chart. It goes from priest down all the way to horny. So priest, very priestly, priests cover up their entire body. You can't tell what's underneath. You can't tell what kind of body they got. You don't know if they're a twink, otter, or a tank. Who knows what they are? You're just a mass. You're just a person. Nothing. You are just nothingness. You're wearing all black. Everything is shapeless. And that's what we want. If you are at the peak pretentiousness, you are going to be completely shapeless, meaning you only wear flowy, oversized clothing, which I personally think is the best thing to wear during the summer and just in general, whether you wear color or not. But we're talking about the pretentious theory here. So with the pretentious theory, you want to wear more clothes and show less body. You can still wear less clothing, but it has to cover up the body. You don't want to show ankles, you don't want to show forearms. You just want to cover up the entire body as much as you can while also still kind of staying within the realm of style or staying cool, pretty much. I love to be modest when I walk out the street. I am a prude. I am a prude at heart. So I wear clothing that covers up my body. So long sleeves are the love of my life. I wear long sleeves a lot of the times. Or if I wear a short sleeve, because I don't really feel like wearing a long sleeve, the short sleeves tend to go up to my forearm. They're very long and very oversized. And personally, I love the movement. I don't really like the constriction of wearing very form-fitting clothes. It's very uncomfortable for me, especially during the summer. Plus, it shows off my body. And I personally do not want to show off my body. I want to remain shapeless. I want to remain with no form. No one knows what's actually underneath these garments. Now, you might be asking, what is horny exactly? What consists of horny? Now, I'll tell you exactly what horny is. Horny are tank tops, sheer shirts, very short shorts, specifically 5-inch inseam shorts, mini skirts, if you decide to wear a mini skirt, literally anything that you think is male whore equivalent, V-necks, large scoop necks. I have a slutty shirt, actually. I have a slutty man shirt that I wear. It hugs the biceps. It accentuates my biceps, my chest, and it's also almost like a baby tee, but it doesn't fit me that tight. But it's up to like my hip, so it's like a perfect shirt for me to wear. But it's the fact that it accentuates my body. It's no longer pretentious, like I'm displaying myself. I've become a commodity. People are commodifying me as I walk down the street. They're seeing me as a sexual object. Now that might feel good, but to me, I think that that destroys the truth of who I really am, which is a pretentious man. And another thing that I'd like to add is you got to remember to drink your glass water, your spring water, Saratoga, or better yet, I'd opt for Mountain Valley. Personally, I like Mountain Valley a lot more than Saratoga, but I think that also adds to the pretentious look. Plus, you gotta stay hydrated, so carrying one of those glass bottles around is not only a weapon, but it's also a pretentious accessory at best. Now, if we want to talk about the average Joe, the midsection, I think that's personally wearing just like oversized clothes, like maybe a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, but you're not fully committing to the bit. You're like halfway there. You are showing off some skin, but you still look good. But you're not fully that pretentious yet. Not yet. To go full pretentious, you must commit. You must wear head to toe, fully covering, being completely modest, not even showing collarbone, not even showing ankle or wrist. Nothing form-fitting, of course, you want to keep that in mind. Nothing form-fitting. Everything has to be loose, flowy, and you have to completely look shapeless. Wow, we're almost done here. According to my Yoji Pretentious Black Scandal notebook, we have some bonus ideas for Pretentious Summer. We have accessories, harmony, and silhouette. Now, you might be questioning what kinds of accessories can you wear during the summer without overheating? And of course, that will be your bags, which can be useful as you carry them around with nothing in them. Some chains, some jewelry, a bracelet, rings, maybe even a little pair of sunglasses. I don't wear them because that's just too pretentious for me, at least. Don't forget your fragrances. That's a little accessory. You gotta wear a little pretentious smell to get around. Your Koyum, your T-Rex during the summer, your Narcotico. It's hot during the summer. And what does a pretentious person wear? You wear paperboy hats, of course. The ultimate form of pretentiousness is wearing a pilgrim paper 1800 old paperboy hat. Very pretentious. No baseball caps, only paperboy hats. That's what I rec. Or cadet hats, those are pretty cool too. I've seen people wear them. Pretty awesome. Good way to get into hats. If you're losing hair, going bald, toss a hat on. No one's trying to see that during the summer. Moving on. We have harmony. You know, I don't want to call it proportions. I'm calling it visual harmony, personally. I like to view outfits as a harmony, right? With how you visually cut off certain points in your body. Personally, I think the best rule of thumb is to accentuate the legs always, meaning you're always going to be wearing something high-waisted and or longer on bottom, and making sure that the top is above the crotch. You never want to cover the crotch area of your pants, because then that kind of creates a splicing almost, where you look like half a man, half a woman. I personally like to wear shirts that go above the crotch area because it kind of creates that visual harmony where your legs are accentuated, making you look taller. To me, I think it's visually appealing. Now, that might not be your cup of tea. Maybe you don't really care and you wear whatever you'd like, but I think that's a good rule of thumb, especially with any types of clothing, summer, winter, spring, it don't matter. If you follow that general rule of just visual harmony where you wear shirts or button-downs that are above the crotch, you're already doing very good. Obviously, if you wear stuff that's above the waistline, like a baby tee, like of course, your legs are gonna look really long, but I like you to think of your pants being the biggest portion of your body because your legs are. So the more you accentuate them, the more you'll look taller visually. If you wear a very long t-shirt that covers the crotch area and goes past it, you can sort of create a visual sort of look that makes you look shorter. And I think most people are avoiding that. Personally, I love to play with that kind of visual mirage that I'm shorter until you kind of come up to me and you see actually how tall I am. 6'2", by the way, 197 pounds. I'm blessed. If you look in the mirror and you see something that feels weird, change the shirt. I guarantee you it's usually the shirt, but emphasis on the pants, always emphasis on the pants, again, takes up a big portion of your body. Legs are the biggest body part, unless you're built different, but yeah, I think the general rule of thumb is don't go past your crotch when you wear shirts if you can, unless you like that. Now, segueing into silhouettes, you're only gonna really wanna wear big, flowy clothing pieces. Flowy and drapey is the best thing to do during the summer. I personally enjoy doing it a lot. It screams the most pretentious on the scale, I think. Well, that ends my pretentious summer video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was very quick, very simple, just like being pretentious. It's super easy. It comes naturally, almost, but it's intentional. And with all that being said, a pretentious summer has now concluded. Onward to the vlog. finally made it. Dude, this building is insane. The architecture out here is super nice. Random flamingo outside. Also a little cafe over here. First, I gotta go get breakfast and then probably some coffee, and then we'll go get the haircut. I didn't get coffee though today. You did.
He got a hojicha.
What was your thoughts on the?
It's good. It's better than the cold brew yesterday.
How much shillings did we spend on this?
I think it was 1,000 in total. So it's like $3.
This is pretty good. It's not coffee, so it doesn't fit with theme, but hojicha apparently is a Korean matcha.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
I got the James Brown, which I thought was coffee because it was brown, but anyway, on to the next coffee shop, I guess. Another day, another coffee.
Another day, another coffee.
No, she doesn't know what you want. What?
What are we getting today?
The mild
Can I get the rich coffee latte? Iced. In my hand right now.
honey latte.
Really interesting coffee mechanism to open this. Oh, it's like a whoa. Flying cars, they said in America. Flying cars in America, they said. Look at this thing. Oh, and then there's a little tab right here. That's pretty sick.
You ready?
That's pretty. It's decent. I thought this would be better, but try it. Are you not you're a
Mine's
coffee
good.
guy? Try this one, coffee guy. Okay. It's whatever. It's an iced coffee latte.
Oh, I'll try it for you, Quellen.
Do it for my coffee video.
Where's Chrissy Poo?
I don't know.
Take a sip. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I don't like oat milk.
You don't like the oat milk?
No.
What are your thoughts on the coffee though?
Coffee's good. It's pretty light.
Out of 10.
Out of 10, to be honest with you, 6.8.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's it. I would say it's average.
I like mine. I like sweet coffee.
You have crazy like you're like Snow White in this.
Really?
Snow White, Snow Bunny?
All right, next coffee shop. We are off to our next coffee shop spot. Something called Coffee Stand, out in the middle of Japan.
A train? I've never seen those before.
Off to this next coffee shop. Here we are at the coffee stand. It's looking pretty cool. Called Little Nap Coffee Stand. All for the low price of 4,000 yen, which is 25 bucks. It's because I got this.
What?
Try it. It's pretty good.
What is it, Shakerado?
So shaking it, Rado. It is strong.
Oh, they didn't do it with the brown sugar?
No. Strong coffee gets you wired. I think it's good. For 1,400 yen, $6.
About like...
It's like $7 for both. I think it's worth it.
We're gonna get coffee once again before we hit the Rakuten, and it's all gray, so it looks cool, nice and aesthetic, old money aesthetic, concrete aesthetic. We're gonna go in and check it out right now.
But this cookies and cream pastry.
crazy.
It has like a filling in it. This is really good. Presentation, really good, but it's probably the first coffee
I don't really, it's whatever.
This is kind of
like that?
whatever.
Really? You don't like it? What about your coffee?
My coffee's good. I think the taste is the color is throwing me off a little bit. Alright, taste test. It just tastes like a coffee latte. Do you want to try?
kind of a letdown, if I gotta be honest. It was only 2,000 yen for everything we got, so.
End the video here. Do you think pretentious people are born that way? No, it's all intentional. You read one book, and then all of a sudden you're yearning at a bar.